So you may have to turn it off every now and then and go in here and take a stick and get the concrete from the sides, but that ain't no big deal. It mixes it really well. This is the tools I used. Pliers, 10mm wrench, 11/16 socket, 9/16 socket, 1/2" socket, 3/8 socket, 2 of those adapters for the drill, 11/16 wrench, a punch, 9/16 1/2" wrench, and a 3/8 ratchet, along with a rubber strap, and of course the drill. I purchased this 3.5 cubic foot cement mixer. Now we're going to see what's in the box. Looks like it comes in a lot of different pieces. The instructions are right on top. We have all the hardware. The wheels, cover, and seal should be down in here. Here's all the parts. The motor is underneath the big bell. Okay, I'm going to take this part here. I'm going to lay it on the ground. I'm going to take this part right here. I'm going to stick it right in there to where those bolt holes are. Okay, before I put bolts in that, I just want to point out here that this bolt here, you get 4 of them. This bolt here looks just like it, and you get 4 of these as well. If you put them both together, you'll notice that one is a little bit longer than the other, and the longer ones will go inside the frame here. Get the holes lined up. Put 2 bolts in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put washers and nuts on the other side. The only thing these bolts will get is a flat washer and a nut. Now I'll go ahead and stand this up like this. Go to this side. And I'll lay this down. I'm going to just push it down in here. Let it stand right there. I'm going to put the bolts and the washers and the nuts on. Now go ahead and stand it up. I'm going to go ahead and throw the wheels on here. What you got to do is just slide them on. Now that the wheels are on it and standing up, it makes it easier to get the washers on. So you got these 4 washers and these 2 cotter pins. What you want to do now is just hold it, take the wheel off, put the washer on there, put the wheel on, put another washer, put the cotter pin through, and then bend the cotter pin. Now I'll go to the other side and do the other one the same way. Now you can pretty much move it around anywhere you want to. Now for the next step. Now what I want to do, I want to go right down here on each side, and there's a hole. I want to put another long bolt, flat washer, and a nut, and tighten it up, and there's one of these on each side. I'm going to grab the large mixing bowl, drop it down in these holes right here, and line it up. You could probably use 2 people for this, but 1 person can do it. Now go ahead and throw your other 2 long bolts on each side. Put the nuts and washers on them. Okay, at this point make sure all your nuts and bolts are tightened down securely. Now I'm going to flip it around here. Now that I've got it turned around, I'm going to go ahead and put the plate on there. It's going to use 2 bolts. Here's the hardware I'm going to use to bolt that plate down. I'm going to go ahead and put the top on before I put the handle on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this gasket on here. I say to use silicone in the book just to keep this in place. I don't think we need it, but I'm going to put bolts in here to hold it down. Here's the bolts I'm going to use to mount that bell together, along with a couple washers and a couple nuts. Now I got my seal on. Turn it around here to show you. Got my seal on. I got it held down with these bolts. Now what I'm going to do, I'm trying to leave the seal there. The flat side actually goes down on this part. The other bell has a little ridge that goes inside here. So be aware of that. It only goes on one way. I'm going to see if I can hold it up there. Start my bolts in while the gasket's on there. I don't want to have to use silicone. Okay, I just need to point out on this bell here, you have an arrow pointing down to this bolt hole. Well, on the lower unit, you have the same thing. You have an arrow pointing to a bolt hole. You want to line these holes up. What I'm going to do, I got mine lined up over here with the other hole. I'm going to raise it up, reach in on the inside, take the bolt out. I'm going to hold that gasket where I need it to be. I'm going to put my bolt in it. Good. Now I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to work my way all the way around. I'm going to see how that works out. Okay, I got all these bolts through there with the gasket underneath here. Didn't use silicone. Would have been a lot easier if I had the handle on it because I wouldn't have to worry about it moving back and forth. Now I'll go ahead and put washers and nuts on the end of them. Here's the hardware you want to use when putting the tub together. Make sure that you use the small washers. Now when I put my tub on and bolt it down, I put my small washer on the bolt first and put it through there, put the nut on the bottom. Now we're going to go ahead and put the handle on. It's got this spring that goes on there. Once I get the handle and spring down on there, this is the hardware I'll be using. Okay, make sure these are pointed towards this wheel right here. And put it on there, and now, okay, you're going to have to grab a punch or a phillips screwdriver. Try and hold it down in there. Okay, got the one side in. Now I can go ahead and pull the punch out. Trying to maneuver it around here. That was hard. That was really tough. Don't forget to put your washer on before you get that in because you don't want to take it back out. Now I'll go ahead and put my washer and my Teflon nut on the other side. This don't tighten all the way down. It's got some movement there so you can actually move it. Now we'll go ahead and turn it around. And get ready to put the motor on it along with the pulley. The motor is mounted in with a 9/16 bolt just to keep it from moving around. Go ahead and take the bolt out and remove the motor. Now go ahead and take this cover here and just put it up here. And I'll put two bolts right here. Now we're going to go ahead and hook up the motor bracket. This is what the motor sets on. This is the bracket right here. It's going to go on just like this right here. We already got their own nuts on there. These are the mixer blades. They're wrapped up. I'll go ahead and take them out and go ahead and put them in. Okay, here's the bolt and the rubber washer. Put it on from the back. Put the nut on the inside. Make sure you have a washer on the back where the bolt is. Okay, we got those in. Now we'll concentrate on the motor. This here will be how the belt is adjusted. Now I'll go ahead and put the motor on there. Now I'm going to put some bolts in here. I have 4 bolts just like this with washers. I'm going to put nuts on them. Okay, I got the motor on there. I haven't got it tightened down. I'm going to put the pulley on here. But first I have to put the keyway on there. Okay, here's the keyway. It don't much matter which way it goes. It fits both ways, but I like to put mine in there flat, like so. And I'll go ahead and put the wheel on there. Don't know which way it actually goes. It fits both ways. Stick it on there just like this. I wanted to put a washer and a bolt on it, tighten it down. Okay, now I just got to raise this whole motor up and put the belt in there. Okay, the motor and everything's tightened up, mounted down on there. You can find you a bungee to hold this up to keep the wires from pointing against themselves. Now I'll go ahead, put that cover on it, and turn it on and see how it works. I got more hardware than I needed, but you should have 5 nuts and bolts that looks just like this to put your cover on. I just want to point out that the instructions weren't very helpful as far as where the nuts and bolts went or what type of nut and bolt went where. So I got it all together. Everything went well. I'm guessing I got all the bolts and stuff in the right place. Had a few washers left over, but you know, it is what it is. Hey, you want to turn it one way for mixing and one way for pouring. Like, comment, subscribe. Share with your friends. Thanks for watching.